I'm disappointed in the Eagles, and I'm going to tell you why. The other night, I'm driving home from a gig, and I decide to listen to One of These Nights in the car. Great record. One of my favorite Eagles records, if not my favorite Eagles record. And I realized when I pull up the record that there's a deluxe edition released. And it says disc 2. So I'm thinking, oh, what is this? Is there some unreleased Eagles songs that I'm going to hear for the first time? And I see it's a concert. Live 1975 at Anaheim Stadium. I'm thinking this is awesome. I'm pretty sure that's where they're from. It turns out One of These Nights Deluxe Edition came out May 1st, 2026. So very recently. So I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I'm looking into it. Has this ever been released before? Is this concert out there for me to listen to? From what I've gathered, the concert has not ever been released. This is the first time that it's being released. And I think that's awesome because it's like 51 years later. How cool is that? So I put it on and I'm leaving it at a volume that's like sort of background music, I guess. I'm kind of just like chilling on my drive home. And Lion Eyes comes on. So while I'm listening to the record, the whole time I'm thinking, this sounds so good. Like this is the best musicianship I've ever heard. I'm not discrediting the Eagles. They are just phenomenal musicians. But I'm listening to the record and I'm thinking, wow, for 1975 to be in the peak of your career and sound this tight is just incredible. I mean, the harmonies are so precise. The drumming is incredible. There's not a missed snare on this record. There's not a dropped fill. There's not a guitar part that comes in like a little bit early or a little late, or there's no timing issues on this whole record. And I was thinking that, but I also wasn't really questioning it in that way. I wasn't questioning it at all because it's the freaking Eagles. They're amazing. This is the peak of their career. This is their biggest record. So I'm just thinking they've been touring for years at this point. They just sound really tight. And I get up to my favorite song, Lion Eyes. Listen to Lion Eyes. I want you guys to listen to this vocal performance with me. This is the song where I really started to think that something might be up with this record. Listen to the vocals specifically.
City girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. A rich old man, and she won't have to worry.
Are you guys hearing that? Are you hearing that as clearly as I'm hearing it? Listen again. Listen to the vocals.
She'll dress up all in lace and go in style. Late at night, a big old house gets lonely. I guess every form of refuge has its price.
These vocals are auto-tuned. Like crazy, not even subtly, not even in a subtle way. These vocals are drenched in auto-tune. Listen to the first line. Listen to it. It's laser tight. Listen again to the first line right here.
City girls just seem to find out early.
That is so heavily pitch corrected. Why would you pitch correct a concert from 1975? If I wanted to listen to pitch corrected music, I'd go listen to modern music. I'll go listen to Harry Styles. I'll listen to modern rock. I'll listen to modern country if I want to hear pitch corrected vocals. By the way, these vocals are even more pitch corrected, in my opinion, than if you were listening to a regular pop album, because they're playing live. They're making mistakes. They're running on adrenaline. When you're playing and singing at the same time, you're just not going to be as good as you are in the studio. And that's okay. And that's what I'm here to listen to. This concert has never been released before. And it's drenched in auto-tune. And I have another theory on what else was going on that I'll get to a little bit later in this video, because I don't think this is just pitch correction. I think there's AI happening, but we'll get to that. So I listened to Lion Eyes, and then I'm thinking, let me go back and listen to the rest of the record, because maybe it's just that one song. Maybe that song had such an awful vocal performance that they felt like they had to do it. And by the way, you don't need to even use that much, because I have no doubt that Don and Glenn and Randy can sing very well. I'm not saying they can't sing very well, but they only probably needed to pitch correct or auto-tune a few notes. This was probably put into Melodyne, right? And just completely snapped to the absolute value of the pitch that they were going for. Anyway, I want to listen to Doolin Dalton, and you're going to hear auto-tune all over this. Listen to the harmonies on this song.
They were Doolin Dalton.
This sounds fine here.
High all alone.
This doesn't sound that pitch correct.
It was the same.
But it is.
Easy money and faithless women, red-eye whiskey for the pain.
Listen to that note right there. That note. That's where you can really hear it. For the pain, whatever the lyrics are. Listen. Listen.
Red-eye whiskey.
It gets dragged.
For the pain.
For the pain. He clearly sang that note differently. It wasn't perfect, and there's nothing wrong with it not being sung perfectly. And it snapped to the absolute perfect note. There can be, if you want to auto-tune vocals, right? Let's say you're auto-tuning a live performance. You don't want to do every single note, because then it's just going to sound, it's not going to sound live, and it's going to sound too robotic. What you want to do is just get the really bad ones. And sometimes the really bad ones, you can't even make perfect. Let's say you have someone who is aiming for a G, right? But they're really flat, and it's basically an F sharp. You don't want to actually make it a G, especially if it's a short note. You just want to find the happy medium between perfect and just not right, or like a bad performance. You want to find that happy medium. I guarantee what he's saying here wasn't great, right? Because you hear how much pitch correction is there. Listen to it one more time, just how much pitch correction is actually there.
Red-eye whiskey.
It's a lot. It snaps.
For the pain.
I guarantee you probably sang it like, for the pain, for the pain, which is fine. But they had to snap it, for the pain. That's not how he sang it. Nobody needs to hear the Eagles pitch corrected. All right. This is another tune that I wanted to point out. One of these nights, the vocals just, they don't sound right. They don't sound right. It doesn't sound natural.
One of these nights,
too perfect.
one of these crazy old nights, we're gonna find out, pretty mama, what turns on your lights.
Listen to how it's snapping.
The full moon is calling, the fever is high, and the wicked wind whispers and moans.
Find one note that's not perfect.
You got your demons, and you got desires, but I got a few of my own.
Every note's perfect. Harmonies.
Someone to be kind to, in between the
Perfect.
dark and the light.
Sounds like a vocoder almost, how good it is.
Coming right behind you, swear I'm gonna find you one of these nights. One of these dreams.
Hard to hate.
One
on
of
this
these
tune,
lost
though.
and lonely
It
dreams.
sounds killer. They're playing it great live too. It
We're
sounds
gonna
awesome.
find one.
Hard to get mad at the Eagles. And I'm not even mad at them. I'm mad at whoever frick mixed this.
I've been searching for the daughter of the devil himself. I've been searching for an angel in white.
Screw the auto-tune stuff. Let's listen to this guitar solo. That's incredible. You've done a lot of hating in this video. That's an incredible guitar solo. All right, so what I wanted to get to, and I talked about this earlier, I said I'd get to it later in the video. I don't think this is just a product of pitch correction. I actually think this is a product of AI. Now, I want to be clear here that I'm 100% sure of pitch correction on this record. 100%, I have no doubt. I would fight anybody on that. There is pitch correction all over this record. This next take, I'm like 90% sure of, but I don't want to put my word out on the internet saying I'm 100% on this. But I'm like 90% sure. I'm pretty sure that this record was mixed using an AI stem splitter. And what an AI stem splitter does, it takes one full song and extracts every instrument from it so that you can get those tracks isolated. I don't think they had the individual instruments for this mix process. I think they used an AI stem splitter to remix it. Because when you're listening to the vocals, they actually sound like they have a ton of artifacts. And what I mean by artifacts is you can hear AI filling in the gaps of some things that were missing when they extracted each instrument. I'm going to show you an example of exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so what I have here is I've actually taken an Eagles song. I'm just going to use an Eagles song for reference since we're doing a whole video on the Eagles. And I've put it into Logic, and I'm going to ask Logic to extract all the instruments from it. So you'll see here, it's asking for vocals, drums. What do you want extracted? I say separate all stems. There's a couple different options here, acapella, instrumental. I'm going to separate all stems and hit apply. Now, what Logic is going to do is Logic is going to use AI to do its best job to extract each instrument from the recording. But when you listen to it, you're going to realize that it doesn't do a perfect job. It's not magically getting the isolated instruments from the original recording. It's not doing that. All right, so it looks like the extraction was completed, and I'm really going to use this example to just show the vocals. Let's listen to the vocals together.
City girls just seem to find out early how to open.
Listen to that word right there, how. Listen to it. It has AI artifacts all over it.
How to open doors with just a smile.
Now listen to the recording of Lion Eyes live. It sounds very similar.
City girls just seem to find out early
Oh, sounds like a robot.
how to open doors with just a smile. A rich old man, and she won't have to worry.
They made the Eagles sound like robots. Robots. This sounds like AI is singing an Eagles song. That's how bad it is. Because they wanted the Eagles to sound perfect. Why would the Eagles sound perfect in 1975 at the peak of their career? They should sound like they're having fun and like they're experiencing a once-in-a-lifetime moment. It shouldn't sound like they're robots. I can't even enjoy this album. I can't even enjoy this concert. That's never come out. And I love the Eagles. The Eagles are one of my favorite bands of all time. Some of the best songwriters in the world. I can't even enjoy this. It's never been released before. I don't want to listen to the Eagles with auto-tune. All right. That's enough of my rant. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's discuss how you feel about AI being used on modern music. Let's discuss how you feel about AI being used to fix old music. Because I think you're going to start seeing this a lot. I think you're going to start seeing remixes, not remasters, of classic albums and classic live albums. And they're going to be using AI stem splitters to do it. Because AI stem splitters are only going to get better. And producers and engineers are going to start using AI stem splitters everywhere. All right. I'm ranting. It's enough of my rant. Let's discuss in the comments. See you guys in the next video. Peace.